see you, Melissa. Come on now. Come on, this is celebration, guys. You gotta get into it. Welcome, Taryn. Hey, Michael, I see you. Come on. You get to celebrate Anna, guys. Let's show us some love. Yeah, this is awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Zoom Master. You have been amazing, Mr. DJ on the decks. Welcome, 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 everyone, and welcome to the official book launch of 10,000 Steps Towards Me by Anna Ngarachu. And I hope I didn't get that wrong, Anna. She did send me a voice note and she said, this is how you say my surname. But of course, I'm South African and I don't know her, her native tongue. So I was like, Anna Ngarachu, and I've been practicing it all week. So I really, really hope I got that right, Anna. But welcome to every one of you. Welcome. It's so good to be in the presence of family, friends, aspiring authors out there. Welcome, one and all. My name is Mandy Petrus, and today I am your co-host, along with, of course, the platform, the Golden Goose Institute. I co-author a book along with my husband, Brad Petrus, and our book is called Believe Again, A Journey of Hope. Now, what Anna and I share in common is that both our books have been published by the Golden Goose Institute. Now, what does that mean? Simply this. We have to succeed. When you have the Golden Goose Institute backing you as a publisher, you must succeed. Over to a couple of house rules. Now we are on the Zoom platform and you are most welcome to either put on your camera or put off your camera. Absolutely up to you. What I do, however, ask is that you keep yourself on mute until such a time that you are called upon, where, of course, we expect you to put on your camera, unmute yourself so that our Zoom master can highlight you. So that is just some basic Zoom etiquette for you, but please grab a beverage, sit back and enjoy your moment with us. Now, what I have learned in this pandemic is this, that we can be equally effective electronically online than what we would be face to face. And today we are going to do just that by using some technology, what we called the Mentimeter. You may not have heard of it like I did up until last week, but the Mentimeter is an interactive tool that is going to help us, one, engage with our audience, two, actually get your book right now today online by clicking a couple of links. Three, it's going to ask you to track, or we together, we're going to track Anna's book sales. It's going to be interesting. And then, of course, to also interact with us with our Q&A session. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm grabbing my phone right now. If you're on your device, whether it be your laptop or your phone, I want you to head over to something called, I don't know if you can see that, Menti.com. Menti.com is on the page right now. Thank you, Mr. Zoom Master. If you can toggle over to Menti.com on your device or otherwise on your separate device and input the code as it is stated in red. And the code is 516, and I'm typing it in right now, 70905. And simply click submit. Now, I'm not even going to take you any further than that. That's all I need you to do for this very moment. Go on to Menti.com and type in this unique code, 516-70905. And this is one of the apps we'll be using today to interact with you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Miss Anna Ngarachu. Anna, are you being shy? Oh, there you are. Welcome to your own book launch, girl.
Thank you.
Awesome. I see you were hiding behind the scenes. So you were like, let me unmask myself. Here I am. Thank you so much, Anna, for having me as your host today. But today is really all about you. And I don't want to take up too much time. I really want to get into the book itself. So I have a few questions. Thanks, Joyce. I just have a few questions to get us into your mind, the mind of the author. That's where I really want to get into the mind of the author. And I have a couple of questions lined up for you, Anna. And the first one being, when did this journey actually start with this book? Over to you, Anna.
Thank you so much, Mandy. So that's such a good question. And the journey for this particular book actually started during a lockdown, sometime in April or May 2020. But the reality is I've been trying to write books for many, many years. So I remember even between, before in high school and university, I started writing a couple of scripts, short stories, but none of that went anywhere. It just got stuck on my laptop. And in 2020, with what everything was going, with what you call it, COVID, I just thought to myself, look, it's time I actually get this dream that I want to happen to be a reality. And I reflected quite a bit, and I decided I needed to complete a book in 2020, and I did so. And I keep telling everybody that it took me shorter than expected. It only took me 4 weeks to actually put pen to paper. But that was 4 weeks over 6 months because I needed the book to breathe, get the ideas. So it was a 6 month journey. And then the next 6 months was really the formatting and the editing. But it's been a year. So I started in lockdown, and funny enough, we're still in lockdown, but that's really the journey I've had. It's been a beautiful year for me. Yeah.
2020 goals, you say, Anna. When most people went into slowdown, you decided, let me just do this thing. So well done to you.
Thank you.
10,000 steps towards me. That's what it's all about, right? But
Yeah.
tell us about that title, 10,000 steps towards me. Explain.
It's an interesting title, actually. The title actually came to me when I was taking a walk at the Marentia Dam. It's a place I love to go for walks. And on that particular day, I was actually taking my 10,000 steps, funny enough. And before the title came to me, I was actually thinking about, look, I want to find a title that talks about the mastery of self. And I knew that people were pretty familiar with the whole concept of the 10,000 hour principle. But I also wanted something that would roll off the tongue quite easily. So when I was taking my walk, the title literally appeared to me, 10,000 steps towards me. And when I got it, I never wavered. So that's how it came, taking a walk in the park.
Just a little walk in the park, she says, and boom, 10,000 steps towards me becomes a book. I love it. I love it. Now, I know you've got the book right there alongside you, and there's this cover. Tell us about it. It's full of color. It's got a figurine. It's got some kind of steps going on. Talk us through the cover of your book, because I know how important a cover is when it comes to being an author and getting the attention of your reader. Take us through that process.
No, you're definitely right. It's a pretty important process. So when I started the journey of putting the cover together, it was about August 2020. And I literally drew it out on a piece of paper and I gave it to the illustrator and said, this is what I want. And we went back and forth and obviously propped it up with a graphic designer at the end. But the idea was I wanted something that was warm and inviting, almost like, when you have an aha moment of understanding, this is who I am, this is what I want to do. And that's why I picked a lot of the yellow. I don't know, I think I relate to the yellow in that way. But I think what's pretty significant about this cover is actually the figurine walking along those steps. So the steps that are featured in the cover are actually called the Penrose Staircase or the Never-Ending Staircase. And the idea behind that is the fact that self-mastery is a never-ending process. as individuals, we are always changing and we're always learning something new about ourselves. And so we need to keep mastering ourselves. But self-discovery or self-mastery is actually a very active process. And therefore, you need to take the steps to start mastering yourself. And that's why self-mastery is a never-ending process. And the picture of the figurine, he or she is carrying a backpack. And I think the backpack just, signifies, you take what you need and then you go on this journey of life. And some people's baggage is heavy or light, but I think that baggage either has the responsibilities you need or the tools you need, because it will help you on that journey that you're going on. And yeah, that's kind of where the cover page came from. But also because I really like Christopher Nolan, who directed the movie Inception, and this staircase was featured there. So I think that also inspired me in some way. Yeah. Thanks, Mandy.
Amazing. I love it. The never-ending staircase. And just like our journey, there's really some never-ending obstacles and challenges, right? And especially when it comes to writing a book. Tell us, because there are some aspiring authors on this call today. I personally believe that everybody has a story to tell. But take us through that process of writing. What were some of the challenges you faced, and even what were some of the opportunities that came about while you were writing and putting 10,000 steps towards me together?
That's a very important question. When someone's considering the journey, they have to weigh the opportunities and the challenges, but definitely go and write that book. So for me, the challenges were really the momentum. I think that came naturally at the beginning because there's a lot of excitement. You know what you want to talk about. But I found like towards the middle of the book, I had to actually rethink the different stories I wanted to tell. And then the last few chapters were actually pretty challenging in terms of trying to, shall we say, explain their concepts on paper. So I remember even taking 7 days off work just to focus on those. So it's getting the momentum going is very important, and you definitely need a structure in terms of how you write. But I found that after a while, it becomes a very natural process. The main opportunities were the fact that we were in lockdown, so there was less distractions. So I was able to have a bit more time on my plate. And I think another important opportunity is I opened up my mind to new ideas. So I actually worked through this book with an artist manual called The Artist Way, which is authored by a lady called Julia Cameron. And she just helps artists kind of recover that childhood artist inside them. And two main points she made that really helped me on this journey, which I consider as an opportunity, is the fact that your creativity comes from a higher power. And if you tap into that, you have a lot more, you get into a process of flow. I don't know if people have heard that idea of, I'm not passionate, so I can't write, but you can actually just tap into that and you can start writing. So for me, that was a great opportunity, actually working with that manual to kind of get that momentum going. And the second thing she said was, if you let go of the ego, the true artist emerges. And for me, that allowed me to write quite vulnerably. I'm sure if anybody has read the book yet, you'll notice that I tell quite vulnerable stories. But I think that really helped me to just share beyond, get out of my head and actually think about, what does the reader want to hear? How can I help the reader become the best version of themselves? And I would say those are the two opportunities and the challenges I faced throughout the process.
Amazing. And kudos to you, Anna, because here's what I do also know about an author is that it takes extreme discipline. And I recall Grant saying to us that you need to be able to write every day. And if you can dedicate time to do that, then you're well on your way to completing your manuscript. So well done to you for the discipline that you have exhibited in putting your book together. Now, we've spoken about the book, your journey. We've spoken about the title. We've spoken about the cover. But there's a little subtitle to your book, your personal guide, or your guide to your personal development journey. What is actually the aim of this book? Because I feel like that might have been it. But tell us more about why you decided you needed to write this particular book.
So the aim for this particular book was is actually to help people uncover who they are, who they want to be, and what they want to do. And it's really to help guide them onto this path of authenticity. So the book actually questions whether you are living an authentic life or not, and helps guide you towards your true north. Because I think when you're authentic and you're living an authentic life, you're purposeful and you can bless so many people in your life, and that starts to cause a ripple effect. And the reason I picked this particular book to write, I mean, I love to write fiction, but personal development has been something that stuck to me for the last few years. And why I wanted to write this is to make an impact in terms of that ripple effect. How do I help people become the best version of themselves? And how do I raise awareness that personal development and self-discovery is so important? We lose so much sight of ourselves and we focus on being too busy. But how do we bring it back home so we can be able to give back to the world and bless others with who we actually are? So that's the aim of the book. It was never really about me. I think the me factor was the fact that I wanted to be an author and I wanted to, propel myself into this creative life. But every time I sat behind the laptop and wrote, I always thought, I need to help somebody, get back onto their authentic life. It's not about me. I share stories about my life from a perspective of relating. And the whole idea was, I've been through this, and this is how I'll overcome some of those obstacles. You're probably going through something similar. You can do it too. So that was the aim of the book.
I love it, Anna. There's a beautiful quote that speaks about your experience then becomes a survival guide for others. And this is exactly what you've done. And so well done again for accomplishing that. You said something so beautiful. You said it's to help people to walk in purpose and to be authentically you. Because if there's 28 people on this call right now, if we can all be authentically ourselves, we are much more of a blessing than trying to be a copycat. I don't want to meet another Anna Ngarachu because there is only one. And so let Anna be Anna, and let us love and support her for who she is and for what she is trying to achieve through this. Thank you so much, Anna. That was such an amazing interview. But now there's something more. Anna, this thing, when you shared this information with me, I was like, what? How did she do this? Guys, Anna launched her online book, her Kindle version on Amazon on the 29th of May. And for 3 full days, she was the top or the best seller in her category. And Anna, I need to know, okay, don't give away all the secrets because I know you've been bound by the Golden Goose Institute not to share all the secrets, but help us understand, how do I, as an aspiring author, I'm wanting to release my book on Amazon. Please, how do I become a hot new release on Amazon in my own category? Help us, Anna, help us.
So that was an exciting period, actually, Mandy. So I set this goal because I wanted to be able to compete on a global stage, and I put together an ebook strategy with the Golden Goose Institute. Thank you very much, Grant. And I was able to achieve this level only because of the assistance from a number of people on this call. So the goal was really to sell a number of ebooks. It was just the ebook strategy. On a particular day and probably for a particular time only. So I discounted the book only for that day, and we managed to make enough sales to hit the bestseller list, but not just the bestseller, like the top #1 on that bestseller list in my category. So it was really, really exciting. And I did not think it would happen. I just said, let's try this and then we'll see what happens. But we were able to stay there for 3 days, and I thought that's incredible. So if anyone wants to understand the little tricks behind how you get this done, you definitely want to speak to Grant from the Golden Goose Institute, who really assisted with the marketing strategy for this.
Grant, I'm sending my email off to you right now. I want to be the best seller in my category, Grant. We need to do this. We need to do this. Wow. Well done to you. Well done to the Golden Goose Institute. What an achievement. And as Anna said, it was really the support of so many people that are currently on this call today. But with the sales in mind, I want us to go over to menti.com. Now, if you've just joined us and you have absolutely no idea what I'm speaking about, you need to toggle between your screen, whether you're using a laptop or otherwise your phone, but go on to menti.com. It's right now in the chat. Grant and Zani, thank you so much. Menti.com. There's a code you need to insert. It's a unique, and it's 51670905. When you get there, click next, and it should open up to a page that says how to order your book today. And it does say today, not tomorrow, not Monday, not next week. Today for only 270 Rand. Now there's a couple of options. Of course, if you want your book delivered, the cost would then be only 350 Rand. But Anna's been so kind. She said, you can just come over to my place. You can come and collect your book from me and only pay 270 Rand. But that's, of course, you're using pay.yoko.com if you are in the South African area. Now, I know that Anna has family and friends in Africa, in the States, and we have not forgotten about you. You can head over to the link right at the bottom that says Amazon.com, and you could have two choices there to either have your book digitally or otherwise a hard copy, which you can then order directly on the link as well. Now, while you are doing that, let me also inform you why 350 Rand is but nothing in this day and age. If Anna decided to have a physical event, which will probably have been at Melrose Arch, it probably would have cost you at least 100 to 200 Rand worth of petrol in your car to get there and back home. And of course, if you have a girlfriend or a partner that you needed to pick up, that would mean that you would be having dinner straight after the event. And if it was at Melrose Arch, I'm estimating a bill of about 500 Rand. And of course, if you're anything like me, you went to have your hair done for the launch, and that cost you around 300 Rand. And I know the guys like their flashy t-shirts and their Nike tackies, and that probably would have been close to 1,000 Rand. So Anna, just to attend your book launch, I've easily spent almost 2,000 Rand. And Anna is merely saying, do you love and support me enough to spend a mere 350 Rand on my book? Not to empower her, certainly not, but to empower yourself. And of course, let me double check our numbers. There are 29 people on this call, Anna. And so I am estimating today, and we're going to track this on menti.com, I have you know, I am estimating that today we should get about 40 book sales. Now you're wondering, Mandy, you don't know how to count. No. You see, I know that you have that one friend that is always talking to you about, what's my purpose? Life is so hard. Life is so difficult. I don't know what to study. I can't seem to find the man of my dreams. It just seems like I'm living and not being. I need direction in my, you know that friend. Come on, guys, we all have that one friend. You need to be buying the book for that friend as well, as a gift to them, so that they might be empowered on their journey to self-development. And so, Mr. Zoomaster, I'm going to allow you to hold this page for a while so that people can interact with menti.com. And in the meantime, for about a few minutes, let's play some music for them while we get into this. And we are back, Mr. Zoomaster. Are we still doing the shoulders? Are we allowing people to place their orders? Yes? Come on, girl. Come on, Knox. Let's do this. And Knox can dance with me because she's already ordered a book, so it's all good. Isn't she lovely indeed? Wow, thank you, Mr. DJ on the decks. Loving the music, loving the song, so fitting. I'm just reading some of the comments. People are just celebrating you, Anna. People are saying how lovely you look. People are saying congratulations and well done to you once again, Anna. Thank you so much, Mr. Zoom Master. You can now take off that screen. Awesome. I hope you have ordered your book. I really, really hope you have, because what Anna's going to do with the Mentimeters, we're going to show you a little page later that shows whether you have indeed purchased your book. So please go ahead and do that. Now, Anna, back to you, because here's what I've learned from being part of the Golden Goose Institute is that writing the book and publishing the book is merely the beginning of your journey as an author and as an entrepreneur. So please, Anna, explain to us what goes beyond the book. What goes beyond the book, Anna? You need to unmute, girl.
That's a good point, that you have to do something beyond the book. So I've actually started a business called Impact Storyteller. And Impact Storyteller does a couple of things. The first is really personal development coaching, which is talking to adults or, children, not children, but the youth at schools or universities, really around the aspects around my book. And I've got a friend here, Janine. Thank you, Janine, who's actually helping me to get into a couple of institutions and that kind of thing. So if there's anyone else on the call who would love to bless their institution, with what we covered today, you're welcome to, get in touch with me. The other thing I'm trying to explore, Mandy, is ghostwriting and co-writing. And that's really where if somebody wants to tell a story through a book or an article on impact, but they don't have the time or the skill, that's where I come in. And everybody can find out more about that on my beautiful website, impactstoryteller.co.za. And then the last thing, Mandy, I know it's a lot, but I started the Impact Storyteller show. And the reason was because I feel like there is too much negative news out there. And there's so much more room for positivity or positive news. And I started this show to be able to do that. And it focuses on personal development and self-discovery. And funny enough, I've actually recorded my first episode. And I don't know if, Mandy, you want to tell the audience about the good news?
Yes. I have seen a little snippet of this Impact Storyteller little newsreel that was going on. And what an amazing interview it was, Anna. But let me just reiterate something to everyone that is on this platform. If you publish with the Golden Goose Institute, writing your book is merely the beginning. What Anna has gone and done after the fact is where the true value actually lies, that you now have a tool with a message on the inside of it that you can literally start a business with. So well done, Anna, for taking that next brave step and turning this into something that is more than just a book. This is not just about becoming an author, but this is about leaving legacy and making an impact into the lives of many others. So Mr. Zoom Master, if you are ready with the video, ta-da! Welcome to Impact Story Show.
Welcome to the Impact Storyteller Show. My name is Ngarachu, also known as the Impact Storyteller. I'm the author of the book 10,000 Steps Towards Me, creator of Impact Storyteller, which focuses on writing and personal development coaching. As a writer, I tell stories of impact that cause people to reflect, change, and act towards living authentically. Through my coaching, I help those who dare to change to think and live differently and hopefully make an impact in their lives. I also currently consult as a development economist. The Impact Storyteller Show is an online show that gets down to real talk with a selective caliber of guests, and we focus on personal development and self-discovery. In my book, I touched on 12 aspects that may influence your ability to live authentically. Today, we will dig into one aspect: To dive into the other 11 aspects, I've put a free framework of reflective questions called A Dozen Reflective Doses that will help guide you through your own self-discovery process. You can find the link below.
So today we have the pleasure of having Grant Nzani join us. If you haven't heard that name, then you're in for a treat. Grant is the founder of the Golden Goose Institute, a publishing company that helps entrepreneurs become authors. He is an author of 3 books, currently working on his 4th, and he is also a professional motivational speaker who seeks to build bridges for those who want to start manifesting their dreams to actually manifesting them. And lastly, he's the type of guy who you do not share your dreams with unless you want to be held accountable in reaching them. Welcome, Grant. Thank you so much for your time. We are so excited to have you on our show today.
Thanks for having me. Great privilege to be here.
No, definitely. This is very relatable. Thank you for being so vulnerable. And that's what we want on this show. We want you to be vulnerable because I think that a lot of these things are not talked about. And people continue on the same journey with the same burdens, wondering, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And actually not stopping to say, is this really for me? And I think when you ask that question, you can find your path a bit more clearer down the road. And then you're able to live life more authentically.
That's a very good, deep question that you're asking there.
Right.
I think the first thing that one needs to do is figure out who they are. And that means that we need to sit down and have moments of silence, as I did with me being at the University of Namibia. When my parents were gone and I was in the confines of my own room, that's when I was able to sit down and say, who is Grant? And who does he want to become? There's a thing that I've made for myself called a life plan. And basically it is the obituary that someone will be, reading the day that I transition. And within that tells a story of who Grant was, right? And now obviously looking at who I am right now, it's a matter of working towards that so that when that person reads that obituary, everything inside it is obviously true. So when it comes down to expectations, I then look around and say, when it's time to make a decision, does this decision allow me to move in the direction of my true north that I have discovered personally? If it does, then let's go. If it doesn't, then whose expectations am I working off?
Thank you so much. Well, there you have it. A minute of deep, impactful insights with our guest, Grant Nzani. Thank you very much. This is the Impact Storyteller Show. And we cannot wait to chat more with Grant at some point in the future. Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it, a few minutes of deep, impactful insights. Thank you very much to our guests. You can find our guest links in the description below, so check those out and stay in touch with them. For key takeaways on how to reflect and apply what we've talked about here, I've put a free framework of reflective questions based on my book 10,000 Steps Towards Me that will help guide you through your self-discovery process. Click on the link in the description to jump into my framework tool, A Dozen Reflective Doses. Remember, there's nothing more purposeful than finding you and taking the leap to live authentically. Feel free to share your stories with me. I can't wait to hear about how you made that leap for yourself. Until next time!
Absolutely, Sonia and Netsin. I saw your comments. An absolute power couple. I've had the fortunate experience of being on a few Zoom calls with Anna and Grant of late, of course, in preparation for today. And they are indeed just a bunch of powerful just nuggets. You speak to them and you feel inspired. And what's even better than just being an inspiration is when you see a showcase like this and you see that people are doing what they say. They are truly a couple that are authentic and they are living their authentic life, which is why they can be that power couple. This is why they can be as inspiring as they are. What I failed to do early on in the program was to let you know that Anna is not just an author. She is indeed, which you mentioned already, a prolific writer, but she's also an entrepreneur and she's also very much a change agent. And that is really her plight, is to be a change agent, a person that influences and impacts the lives of others so that you go ahead and impact and influence the lives of those that are in your circle. So again to you, and I know I've said it probably 10 times today, but really, really well done. Ladies and gentlemen, we are over to the next segment of today's book launch, which is the reviewers segment. I too have been very fortunate to be part of the reviewers, and I see a couple of others on the call today. I know Knox is going to be chatting to us. I know Michael's going to be chatting to us, but I also saw Luyanda. I also saw Marilisa. So welcome to everyone that has been part of Anna's book journey. Welcome and well done to you as well. Now let us get into it. We are expecting to hear from Miss Knox today. Knox, you can unmute. In the meantime, I see you. We're hopefully going to highlight you or spotlight you as well. But give us your review in terms of, well, firstly, tell us how you know Anna. Tell us about your relationship with Anna. And then give us your review and your feeling on the book. And why should we be buying this book anyway, Knox? Tell us more about that. Over to you.
Excellent. Thank you, Mandy. Good evening, everyone, and what a pleasant evening it has already been. Firstly, a huge, huge, huge congratulations to you, Anna, for accomplishing such a huge feat. Sure, 10,000 steps towards me. Are we there yet? Thank you for allowing us to celebrate this huge moment with you, Anna. So as mentioned, I'm Knox, and just a bit of a background, Anna and I have been friends since the university days of yesteryear. And over the years, we've actually remained friends, although with infrequent catch-ups, they've always been exceptionally meaningful. If not hiking or doing some kind of yoga, you'll definitely find me blissfully curled up with the nurturing book. And I'm sure many of us on this call today actually share a passion for books in some way, but I think really only a select few extend that passion to writing. Hello, Anna. Most of us here probably already know the determination and zeal Anna has, and her book is yet another testament to this. So, 10,000 steps towards me. Sure, that's a lot of movement to find yourself exactly where you are, but in an entirely different space. Surely then it's our perception that's actually changed. And that was my experience with the book. 10,000 steps towards me says it all. Of movement, a peeling away, and unraveling. Just yesterday, actually, I read about a technique that a psychoanalyst uses through her therapy session. So she said she focuses on using questions and then using stories and then creativity. And as I read that, a huge penny dropped in my mind about Anna's book and why it just makes sense, why it just works. And it really is because 10,000 steps towards me is deliberately crafted in a way that makes the reader feel like they're having a really engaged, a meaningful, probing, and honest conversation with a lifelong friend. The book counsels us by asking questions that we've had before, questions that we haven't given time, but have really been on our minds, the questions aspect. Anna very vulnerably shares her experiences with us through her own stories, the stories aspect. And there's a continuous probing of reflecting on these questions, as well as possible actions and commitments that we're willing to make on our side. And that's the creativity aspect. Throughout the book, I really did learn a lot about Anna, a lot of things that I didn't know. And we learn a lot about the different stories that shaped who she is today. And something that's obviously come up a couple of times tonight already is a story that continuously comes up about her love and passion for writing. We learn about how she's navigated it from any doubts to pursuing other dreams, all the way to today, right here and right now, this book launch. We are witnessing the fruit of passion, ambition, work, and pursuing one's dreams. With the very many themes in the book spanning dreams, aspirations, boundaries, but to name a few, expression is the one that I really resonated with strongly. Reading about someone's dreams in a medium that is a manifestation of their dream is incomparable encouragement to pursue what aligns with you. And that had the biggest impact on me. Again, on the note of expression, writing itself is really such a personal expression. And one of the quotes from Anna's book that really I actually made a note of and shared with a couple of my friends from a chapter titled Going Against the Tide, Your Environment, where this chapter pretty much covers a bit of a dance between your willingness and willpower versus your environment. And in this chapter, Anna writes, "We can't know who we are if we're not allowed to express ourselves." I'm sure a lot of us have been in a situation where we feel our expression muted in some way, whether consciously or unconsciously, be it not wanting to sing, be it in a relationship, be it not being artistic for whatever reason. And every form of our expression is really a step in the journey towards ourselves. And if we find ourselves in environments or situations that actually mute our expression, it really is taking ourselves further and further away from our truest selves, our most authentic selves. So it really muffles us trying to understand what makes us tick. So I'll ask you, have you asked yourself today, what makes you tick? What really, really brings you joy? We all know how naturally creativity and productivity flows in a space where you can be your authentic self. Find and create that space for yourself within yourself. I implore you all to find that one thing, whatever it might be, even just for the rest of this weekend, be it singing loudly in the shower, be it running, be it high-fiving or hugging someone with COVID in consideration, obviously. Just do that one thing that really, really brings you joy from within and express it vulnerably. We can't know who we are if we're not allowed to express ourselves. This book is a phenomenal expression. It's the fruit, again, of that phrase. It's inspiring. The book is a testament to the possibilities when we take time to consciously do the work, when we nurture our self-expression. It's filled with timeless, countless golden nuggets like these. I recommend a read of this book again and again. I myself will definitely read it again. You know how at the end of some books you kind of feel empty and you think, well, what's next? What purpose is my life right now? This book does not give you that feeling at all. You actually, for me, I felt really purposeful. I felt an opening and I really felt a fullness. 10,000 Steps Towards Me is frank, honest, and vulnerable. A candid sharing of Anna's experience and an opening of your own. I recommend this book for anyone longing for sincere conversation. I recommend it for you or even for a dear friend. Thank you, Anna, for your sharing.
And thank you, Knox, for your sharing. There was one word that came through very strongly, and it has been throughout the past hour that we've been here, is this thing of vulnerability. And I can tell you with absolute sincerity that I have also, again, being connected to the Golden Goose Institute, it connects you to a lot more other authors. And there was something that was also very consistent, and I'm saying this as an author, in our book, my husband and I's book, and that was very consistent in Luyanda's book, was also published with the Golden Goose Institute. And it is this thing called vulnerability. And I'll tell you why it's so powerful. It's because in a life where everyone's kind of scrambling around and trying to find their place and their position upon this earth, it is the authentic people that rise above the rest. And it is the authentic person that is most vulnerable because they know and understand that it's not just about them and that there is a learning in every experience that we have to endure. And that's one of the things that Anna has done very well in her book, is her ability to share her experiences to a point where she takes the lesson and says, you can have it too. You can have the lesson too. You don't have to go through this thing again. You don't have to experience what I experienced. Here's your lesson for you. So again, well done to you, Anna, for being the vulnerable author. Now we do have another reviewer that's online, and his name is Michael. He is Anna's brother, and I'm so looking forward. You know, they say when you want to get to know someone, ask their friends and ask their family. So Michael, if you can unmute and share us just a little bit about Anna's life, feel free to be vulnerable as well, and just share with us your review. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you, Mandy. As you mentioned, myself and Anna are seedlings, not siblings. I call it seedlings because we had the opportunity to grow together. And families is often one of those things that you do not choose. But I've been blessed to have had this growth with her. And if I was to do it again, I would definitely choose her to be part of my journey. So just going directly into the review, I think for me there's a quote that really stands out for me, and it goes, "Shame dies when stories are told in safe safe spaces." And maybe I just want to say that again: shame dies when stories are told in safe spaces. And I think that's what Anna has done with her book. You know, stories may just be the most complex technology we have. You know, they're the sum total and the collection of all our knowledge, all our humanity, and all the secrets of the universe. And in Anna's writing and her vulnerability that she displayed really brings this to light. The collection of nostalgic stories and the fact that she's willing to speak to the heart is such a beautiful thing that's not displayed in many other books. And the one thing I really enjoyed about Anna's book is the self-discovery element. Most of us in this life are human doings. We are not human beings because we've lost touch with our beingness of who we are. And Anna's book really forces us to really reconnect with who we are and what our purpose in this life is. So thank you, Anna. Thank you for this beautiful gift to the world. And I think one thing to highlight is, you know, the author's journey is an arduous journey, and a lot of us wait too long and procrastinate. You know, we want to look before we leap, but in the end, you did leap. So thank you for your courage in that, and thank you for overcoming that, and thank you for the gifts that you brought to the world in your writing. So I would recommend this book to anybody who is looking for a deeper meaning to themselves and looking for the reconnection to who they are. The journey of self-discovery is the only journey that matters in this lifetime. So thank you, Anna. Thank you for this lovely book, and I definitely recommend it to everybody on the call and everybody in all the social reaches that you have to read this book. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're proud of you.
Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Please speak.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Mohini. I'm also one of the reviewers. Sorry, I just can't contain my excitement and my pride. I think I find it such a privilege to know such a strong and powerful woman like you. I think in a day and an age where women are really like stepping into their own and taking charge of their lives and giving the world a direction, I think you are definitely at the forefront of that, and that makes me feel so proud and so excited, and I can't wait to see what you have to do in the future. So all the best on this journey, and we will be supporting you and applauding you every step of the way.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. And for those of you that actually want to follow Anna on this journey, as was just highlighted now, go ahead and go onto impactstoryteller.co.za. I know Anna's going to be in touch with you because you've all dropped her your email address when you registered, and she will be in touch. But go ahead and just follow her story anyway. It's impactstoryteller.co.za. But Michael, I'm looking at the comments and I see Melissa has highlighted something so significant, which is something you said. You said most of us are human doings and not human beings because we've lost touch with our being. So profound. We've lost touch with our being. And Anna's book on 10,000 Steps Towards Me is going to help us become human beings and not just human doings, trying to just do life. We need to get into a place where we are thriving and not just surviving. And if 2020 and 2021 has taught us anything, is that we had gone into survival mode, but there's a place that you get to where you begin to thrive. And that is when we start to develop ourselves, and then we thrive. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to take a short commercial break as we go over again to menti.com. Mr. Zoommaster, can you help me as we go over to menti.com and we track Anna's book sales? Let's have a look. Just a reminder again, the cost is only 270 Rand. Those links on menti.com are interactive, so you can go ahead and just click one of the links. And here we are. The question was, have you got your copy? The goal is obviously have 20 books sold today that would impact someone. So help Anna reach this goal. And here are the results thus far. And we will come back to this a little bit later. So this time, all you had to do is go on to menti.com, type in 51670905. The code is on your screen. And of course, go ahead and buy your book. So 2 people said, I got more than 1 copy. Hey, I wonder if those people will be brave enough to type in the chat with those two. You got 2 books. You got more than 1 copy. Somebody bought a book for their friend. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then 3 people said, I already got my copy. And then we've got 8 people saying, I can't wait to order soon. Well, can I have you know that you can order it today? Why wait? Those 8 people, you need to click on the links and order your book. It's only 270 Rand. Thank you so much, Mr. Zoommaster. I think let's give people a little bit more time to order their books. If we could go back to the previous screen where you show people how to order, that's it. And if we can just have some of that rocking shoulder music again, Mr. Zoommaster, for the next 3 to 5 minutes. There you go. Give people a chance to order their book, because I need to see those numbers change, Anna. Otherwise, I haven't done my job today. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Isn't she lovely? DJ, you are doing things. There's some commentary there, Anna. They're saying you need to shake your shoulders, girl. I think this song is dedicated specifically to you. They call it Anna Anna. Thank you, Mr. Zoom Master. You are doing an amazing job this evening. Thank you so much for helping us with menti.com. Thank you for bringing us the vibe. And we are now proceeding over to the next part of our program. And I'm really expecting a tearjerker. Yeah, I have, so I'm in anticipation of that one. But right now we're doing the audience segment. And Anna has an aunt all the way out in the States, and she's put together a video that she wants to dedicate to Anna today. So, Mr. Zoom Master, when you are ready, please help us introduce Anna's aunt, Mary. Over to you, Mr. Zoom Master.
Hello everyone, my name is Mary Gogan and greetings from the state of Virginia in the United States. Anna Ngarachu, the author of this very, very remarkable masterpiece, 10,000 Steps Towards Me, is my niece. First of all, let me start by saying that I loved reading this masterpiece and confess that I read it more than once. And not because I am a firm believer of self-development or continuous learning, but because the book dispenses enlightening advice, lusciously packaged in point of departure nuggets, topped with savory layers of storytelling through the author's life experience. And lest you forget, the author makes sure the point is always driven home in very captivating viewpoints. And I found myself coming back again and again to the key takeaways. They were very, very, very enlightening for me. The author's journey makes a remarkable case for a self-discovery journey, not just as an urgent journey, but a very intentional journey. I was struck by her disconstruction of why. If you do not know yourself, then you would not know what you want or where you want to be. It was heartwarming for me to read about family and how it is a valuable constant. The author does not shy away from the juxtaposition of love of family and conformity. So it was indeed affirming to hear the author's views on challenging family status quo or, by extension, culture, and her recommendations on how to navigate such complexities. I was intrigued by the author's thought-provoking truths on why it is not so much about whether you get knocked down, but about getting up, because every journey of success involves failure. To put it differently, when life happens, it is good to remind ourselves of the crux of the matter, getting up. I could not agree more with the author on just how influential the environment is to any individual, on how sometimes we all have to make certain, albeit painful decisions to guard our environment. I was exhilarated to read about taking action or actioning, be it taking action in life choices, life pathways, in creating one's space or style, in changing the narrative, in dispensing words, or in goal setting. I was exhilarated because, like the author, I was introduced to actioning and setting goals at a very, very early age. My dad, who's now 85, the author's granddad, had this little centerpiece, a stool that sits in the sitting room for everyone to see, with the words, "No effort, no success," inscribed on it. My dad lives by these four words, and he made sure we understood when we were very young that we must always take action in order to accomplish our goals successfully. And like the teacher he was, he educated us on the need to have a timetable that helped us accomplish our goals. What I came to learn later in life is called planning. And we've had this continuing joke in the family for years. When we have a collective family project to be done, we always ask, who will be in charge of the things to do list? When we had my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, we had a collective things to do list, which loosely translates into planning. And every family member had their things to do list, aka planning, which led us to a goal of successful 50th anniversary event. So it is indeed exhilarating to see the author's journey incorporate some of these family generational constructs woven through her own life experiences in a brilliant, informative, resourceful, and practical masterpiece. Congratulations to you, Anna Ngarachu, for your brilliant storytelling and compelling personal development advice. And can I add, your creativity is absolutely unquestionable. Congratulations. I wish I had read this book 10,000 years, 10,000 steps from now behind me. I could have done with the author's advice in both my personal and professional journey, not just now, but the 10,000 steps behind. And I recommend this book to anyone who has not read it. If you have not read it, you are definitely missing out on something big. Carve out some time, go out and buy it, and take time to read it. In this book, you will find the tools and insights that propel your personal development journey to a whole new level, and convictions to nudge you to have fun while you're on the road to you. Thank you very, very much.
Having fun on the way to getting to know you. I thought that was quite nice. I was expecting, I was revving myself up, Anna, for some kind of tearjerker, because when you said, it's it's a 6-minute video, but what I got out of that was that this woman, the words exhilarating, she kept saying exhilarating. And I was just wondering, Anna, how many are all your friends and family like these prolific speakers? Do you choose them like that? How do you do that? I was like, wow. I mean, when you go to a wedding and they say, okay, Auntie, X is going to come and speak, and then you kind of go, oh, you hope and pray that they're going to say everything right. But your speakers are just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I've never been to an event like this where every single speaker is just so eloquent. So well done on choosing your family and friends so well. But ladies and gentlemen, we are proceeding to the next part of our program, which we are going to go into a Q&A session. Now, the Q&A session will be slightly twofold. You are welcome to ask Anna a question in the chat function, but you would have noticed on menti.com that there's also an option to ask a question on menti.com. So, Mr. Zoom Master, if you could bring up menti.com so we could see if we have any questions listed as yet. I know that I am one of those people who popped a question in. Oh my goodness. Are those all the questions? Ooh. Oh, wow. Ooh, nice. These comments and questions, I love it. Oh, what an interactive audience. You guys really know how to make a host job so easy. Well done. So let me just read a couple of comments before we get into questions, because now I'm all excited. Thanks, Taryn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They're saying they love it. They're saying congratulations. Anna, you are being overwhelmed with love and support here. What a beautiful thing to see. What a beautiful thing to see. But let's get into the questions, because the people want to know, Anna. The people want to know. And I'm really just going to choose some random questions. Let me scroll. Who inspired your book? Who or what inspired your book? Over to you, Anna.
Who inspired my book? That's an interesting one. I would probably say my life story. It's a bit interesting. So what inspired my book was my life story. Who inspired it? I think it's just the fact that I wanted to give back to a lot of people. I always thought that I have a lot of ideas in my head, but if I don't share them, they'll only be available to a select few. So I wanted to get them out to a huge audience, people who are, ready to change. So yeah, I would say people who needed this message inspired me.
Amazing, amazing. Let me go through some. Can we scroll a little bit? I saw something interesting right on top. When did you realize that you first wanted to be a writer? When did you realize that you first wanted to be a writer?
I realized that quite early. I was writing short stories in grade 9 already. So I always had little journals and little diaries to write the events of the day, that kind of thing. And I was very observant of what was going on around me. And that created all these fantasy worlds in my head. So I probably started very young, but I can't remember before like grade 7. So I'd definitely say when I was very young, I realized I wanted to write seriously. Yeah.
Wow, that is young. That is young. Another question, Anna. What do you like to do when you are not writing? So what else do you do for fun, Anna? What else do you do?
So when I'm not writing, I love to go on very long walks and anything else that inspires my creativity. So I definitely love watching, good old-fashioned artsy movies. I do a lot of reading. I think when you're not writing, you have to keep feeding your mind. And I've just found that reading other material, especially personal development, allows me to just question my belief system and opens my mind to a whole, other world. And yeah, so when I'm not doing that, it's probably reading, watching a good movie, or planning my next travel vacation as well. Yeah.
On that one, a good movie and planning your next travel vacation. I'm so all about that life. The next question, Anna, do you believe in writer's block? And if so, how does a writer circumvent it? And if not, how come?
I would say I believe writer's block exists as a cause. It is a cause of not having the right tools. And the way you can circumvent that as a writer is to ensure you have the right tools around you. So the tools I'm talking about are, if you're going on a writing project, for example, you want to make sure you have a structure in place and a work program. You can't just write. And I think that's what I struggled with in the past. I just thought, I'm inspired, let me start writing. And then middle of the road, you lose the inspiration. So it's very important to have a structure and to have a program in place in terms of when you're going to be writing, and write every day if you can. And another really good tool, like I said earlier, is to have like the artist manual that I was working with. So, get out of your own head, go learn some new ideas, and work through an artist manual if you need one, but definitely have the right tools to help you navigate that writer's block. Yeah.
Amazing. And this woman is just giving me all answers off the cuff, hey? So you can just put on the spot, ask her any question, and she just knows the answer. That's how amazing Anna is. Anna, let's do 2 more questions because I don't want to spend too much time here because we want to get back to Mentimeter. We need to track your book sales. So let's get into 2 more questions. And I really like this one. What are your top 3 values and in finding yourself? Did you find what you value? Did you find what you value?
Okay, so I'm going to assume this is top 3 values in general, like life values in general. And in finding myself, did I find what I value? So maybe I'll start backwards. So in finding yourself, I definitely found what I valued, and what I value is leading people through my writing. So for a long time, I've always procrastinated this dream of writing and, shall we say, going after this particular dream. And you'll find a lot more nuggets around that in the book. But I definitely found that just being, tapping into that creativity and allowing myself to be a creative was definitely a value system for me. So what are my top 3 values? I mean, that's a difficult question, but I'd probably say family is definitely a value system for me. That's definitely top 1. Spirituality is definitely a value system for me. And making sure you're healthy in all aspects, especially feeding your mind. We spend so much time, go to restaurants and all of that, spend so much money on food and everything, but not many people feed their mind. And I think one of my value systems is definitely growth in terms of feeding your mind, because once you do that, you open yourself up to a whole lot of ideas that spill over into all aspects of your life. So I hope that answers that question.
Well, that wasn't my question, but we could be twins just based on your answers. I was like, that's mine. Yep, that's definitely mine. And there's definitely a synchronization going on here, Anna. But let's take one last question.
Okay.
Oh, there's so many good ones. Do you want to do another 2?
Okay.
Okay. As soon as the book is done and completed, how many do you recommend to print, and on which digital platform should one promote the book?
That's a good question. I would say it all depends on your marketing strategy and what you want to do after the book. And that's something you would feel to grant, but I can take that one. So I would recommend, now we're in a very different setup where with COVID, we're not really doing, in-person interactions. So definitely you want an ebook to promote as much as possible. You definitely want to get onto Amazon, which is the biggest bookshop in the world, and you can retail that globally. I'd also say if you want to do a function like this, or you just want to sell individually, at least start with a minimum of 20 copies. If you can do 50, that would be great. And push yourself to actually, sell those books, because it will help you in just getting the word out there. And then obviously, depending on what you want to do after the book, you can print a few more thereafter. I hope that helps.
That is great advice, Anna, and you're so right in terms of online. That's where we need to be pushing right now, and because that's where people are consuming their information as well. So great answer. Last one. What did you edit out of your book? But what did you add? We read what you added. What did you edit out of the book? That's what I want to know. Over to you, Anna.
That's an interesting one. So when I started this journey, I actually started my book as an autobiographical book. And when you actually read the book, you'll feel that some of the aspects, sound a little bit autobiographical. And the reason was because obviously I was doing a lot of reflection and I wanted to share a bit about my past and all of that. And I would say that I edited out some of the, shall we say, too many of the stories so that I can pivot towards a personal development book. So I didn't edit out the main aspects. So I did talk about each of them. I just edited out all the details that would make it too much about me. Because I wanted, once I had the idea of writing an autobiographical book, I said, I don't want this book just to be about me. How do I make it about the reader? So in order to pivot towards that, I had to edit a little bit out of the long stories. And therefore, you'll see some of my short stories a little bit shorter. So that's what I edited out, but it was still very vulnerable, I must say.
As we all know, Anna, as we all know. So well done again. Those questions were amazing. Thank you to our audience for interacting so well on Menti.com. And thank you, Mr. Zoom Master. You can take down those questions right now. What we are going to do as we go into a wrap up is to have a look at Anna's goal tracking using Menti.com. She is tracking her sales. Her goal is to sell 20 books, preferably today on this platform. So Mr. Zoom Master, can you bring up Menti.com as we track Anna's goal? This is just Anna being vulnerable again, guys. She's actually showing you her sales. I don't know if I would be vulnerable enough to do that, but this is Anna. Let's see. So we've still got 2 people. They have more than 1 copy. 4 people saying, I do have a copy, whoop, whoop. And then 9 people saying, I can't wait to get my order soon. Well done, well done. So what Anna's going to be doing as of Monday, she's going to start with a distribution of all her book sales, and you should be able to get that sometime before the end of next week. And then, of course, you can expect that soon enough. Thank you so much, Mr. Zoom Master, for that. And well done to you, Anna, for tracking so well. I did see in the comments, and there's a couple of people promoting your book. I think it's on LinkedIn. I think it was Netsine. She's been posting a link, her just promoting your book. So well done. Thank you so much for your love and support in that regard. And for all those people that are continuing to share. Thank you. So over to our closing. I'm actually just going through my program, making sure that we've covered everything before we let you go. As we close off our program, Anna would like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you before we say goodbye. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you, Mandy. So I just wanted to thank a couple of people specifically. So I want to thank Sonia. Thank you very much. Sonia edited my book. I really appreciate you did such a great job. I'd love to thank all the reviewers present today. You definitely added color to my work. So Knox, thank you for your beautiful words today as well. And thank you for your beautiful review. I really appreciate it. Maralisa, thank you for being here. You have a heart of gold. Luyanda, thank you very much. She's also an author and taking things by storm. I really appreciate that. Mohini, my fellow artist, your journey is inspiring. Thank you. Michael, you're a change maker, helping people to heal. Thank you for your beautiful words today. And any other reviewer I may have left out, thank you very much for being here. I'd also like to thank everyone who did an impact statement, Knox, Michael, and Auntie Mary. Thank you. It was lovely having you on the program. Auntie Mary, you have a classy way of sharing, and thank you for your spot-on review. I'd love to thank Mandy, who was also a reviewer, but most importantly, she was our host today. You are host with utmost class and authority. I'm so honored to have you. Thank you for your time and energy. I look forward to working with you more. I also want to thank the Golden Goose Institute for allowing us to host on their platform. Thank you, Grant, who's the founder of the Golden Goose Institute. He assisted in publishing this book, and it would have never been possible without you. I really appreciate. And Grant, my partner, thank you for all your support throughout this process. You have been amazing in the strategy and the marketing. And thank you for being the best first guest on my talk show. You're definitely the best creative, best friend and partner to have, I must say. To my family, thank you for being here. You always inspire me. And to all of you who took time to attend this show or this book launch, you spent some of your Saturday here. I'm so grateful. You've been supporting me on this journey and really have made this day extra special. I appreciate all of you. Thank you.
And a very special thanks to you, Anna, for allowing us into your world and for sharing your story with us. May many people be impacted by your story. And as we sign out, I'll leave you with these words from 10,000 Steps Towards Me. I don't have it all figured out, but I hope that my book will challenge you, will challenge some of your thinking, inspire you to take time to develop yourself, and move you to do the same in someone else's life. And with that, I'm signing out. God bless you and goodbye. Mwah.